I once again request all the delegates to please take your seats. We're now beginning with our closing ceremony. This is an occasion of joy for all of us as we've come together to celebrate this auspicious valedictory session. To start this, I would now be inviting on dais our very esteemed chief guest. Can we have a great round of applause for Mr. Sachin Avasthi? Can we have a great round of applause, please? He's from India Head Office, IOM, International Operation of Migration. A great round of applause, please. I would also like to invite once again our chair for this session, Mr. Pradeep Burman, our chairman of Mobius Foundation. Sir, can we please have you on stage? I would also like to invite on stage Mr. Praveen Garg, our president of Mobius Foundation. A great round of applause, please. I would like to invite on dais Dr. Dipankar Saharia, Senior Director of Administrative Services and Regional Centers. Do we have Dr. Dipankar with us? Moving forward, I would like to invite Ms. Abimbola Junaid, Partnerships of Advocacy and Voice Manager at Population Matters. A great round of applause, please. I would now also like to invite Ms. Bethany Davies, Research Fellow at ACER, Australia. A great round of applause, please. I would also like to invite Ms. Gayatri Raghava, Environment Education Expert, UNEP, India. She's coming? Okay. She's running. She'll join us in a few minutes. I would also like to invite Dr. Ram Booj, CEO of Mobius Foundation. A great round of applause, please. Well, the feeling of excitement of gleaming faces marks an incredible start to this awards ceremony, as now, before we move on to our panelists and to our chief guest, we would now be disclosing the winners of our ICSE paper and poster. So can we have a great round of applause for all the students who joined in and participated in it. I hope all our winners are ready at the back to come in the front. Is that me ready? Should I start announcing? He's here. I would also like to invite Mr. Bhavesh Swami, who's the lead in the Clean Energy Police and Engagements at the Climate Reality Project. Can we have a great round of applause, please? Moving forward to our winners, in the oral presentation that was held on the 19th September, on the third prize we have Akshata G. Atreya and Sachin A. Rosario. Can we have a great round of applause, please? Do we have Akshata and Sachin with us? On the second position, we have Mr. Chandan Das. He's here. A great round of applause, please. I would be requesting our chief guest and chairperson to kindly award them with the certificate. On the first position, we have Ms. Jhinuk Mitra. Do we have Ms. Jhinuk with us? Can we please have you here? Okay, so can we present it to her instead? Yes, you can please collect her. Can we have a great round of applause, please? I request our chairman, our chief guest, to please present it to her. Moving forward to our next category of the oral presentation that was held on 20th September in the first lot. On the third position, we have Alka Behri. Do we have Miss Alka with us? She's not with us. Moving on to our second position, we have Mr. Rahul Chopra. Do we have Mr. Rahul with us? He's not here. Moving on to our first position, I would like to invite Miss Vani Bhardwaj. Do we have Miss Vani with us? I think they seem to have all left. Moving on to our next category, also that was held on the 20th September in the second slot, the third prize, I would like to invite Miss Prerna Maheshwari. Do we have Miss Prerna with us? The second prize goes to Sneha Shahi. Do we have Sneha with us? On the first prize, we have Mr. Alexander Amirtham. Do we have Mr. Alexander with us? Oh, he's here. A great round of applause, please. I would be once again requesting our chief guest, Mr. Sanjay Awasthi, sir, to please present him. A great round of applause, please. He has secured the first prize in the oral presentation. Moving on to our poster presentation, the third winner, we have two winners. One is Sagar Chavan. Do we have Mr. Sagar with us? Is that Mr. Sagar? Yeah. Can we have a great round of applause, please? I would be requesting our chief guest and our chairman, Mr. Pradeep Burman, to please present the certificate to our winner. Yes, sir. We would like you to give it to him. I would also like to invite his professor, Mr. Ravi. Can we have a great round of applause for Mr. Sagar Chavan? Yes, yes, yes. Also at the third position, we have Amitasha Soni and Sasha Soni. Do we have them here with us? They're not. A great round of applause, please. Moving on to our second position, I would like to invite Miss Upma Garg. Do we have Miss Upma with us? On the first position, we have Harshi Jain. Do we have Miss Harshi with us? Yes. Miss. Okay. Upma Garg. Do we have any representatives for Harshi Jain? Yeah. Last. These two are last. Harshi Jain. You're Harshi. We've also got a friend of the first winner, Harshi Jain, here. Can we have a great round of applause, please? And with that, we successfully conclude our award ceremony. So please. No, that's it, sir. So they're not sitting here. I invited them all, but only few showed up. So as for now, as we conclude this entire session, in fact, this whole conference, I would now be requesting Mr. Praveen Garg, our president of Mobius Foundation, to please give the closing remarks to us all. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
I think I'll keep the closing remarks very short because whatever was to be said has been said, as the Buddha used to say. Honorable Chief Guest Sanjay Avasti ji and our Honorable Chairperson Pradeep Burman ji, all the distinguished guests on the dais, delegates, distinguished audience, media, and everyone here. So the theme SDG 4 is, sustainability, education for sustainability development. And as I have said it before, I have to repeat it, catch them young, and the learning should be lifelong. We should, and the point which I would like to emphasize is, we should set the example. We should lead by example, rather than, of course, learning has to happen, knowledge has to happen, but setting the example is the most important thing for a child to learn. And most of us are in leadership positions. Most of us, we are leading the organizations. So we have to lead by example, by setting the example, and action has to be taken for climate change. And that should be reflected in our behavior. And of course, we have a program now called Life, but our life should be setting the example for that. And I hope that after these, you know, in our organization, we have a concept of O3. So we have objectives, outcomes, outputs and outcomes. So there are a lot of outcomes which have come out, and I hope some actionable, I wish, and definitely I say that actionable points would be tabulated. A lot of recommendations would come, which should be given to the civil society organizations as well as to the policy makers, because they also have a very important role to play and they take decisions. I was a policy maker about a year back for nearly 35 years. So you take decisions for such a large population, and if they have a better input, if they have some input from somewhere which helps them in making a better decision, then it helps the lot of citizens of the country. And I'll say every drop counts. Time has come to act. We should act. Every drop counts, and there's a drops in the ocean, and the ocean is in the drop, as the Buddha used to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now be requesting Ms. Abhimola Junaid to kindly give few remarks. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
Mr. Bowman and the entire Mobis Foundation and Dr. Rambuj, on behalf of Population Matters UK, we want to say a very big thank you for the opportunity you've given to us to be a part of this wonderful gathering. We believe in you as a visionary leader, and we believe in you in taking the population conversation forward, and for the opportunity to be able to bring this into the environmental space. So we say thank you. So on behalf of Population Matters, am I reading this? So our world has limited resources, and I believe we've talked about this entirely throughout this conference. And whether it's financial, technological, natural, or human, and as a society, we must optimize the use of such resources to deliver sustainable development for everyone's benefit. Gone should be the days of focusing narrowly on single issue goals, which simply do not deliver the collective and fundamental shift our planet requires. There is the need for holistic approaches across issues and geographies to tackle systemic challenges, and that includes open discussion about the current state of the planet's overpopulation and overconsumption. And this we heard from the various prominent speakers yesterday and today, from Mr. Berman himself, Dr. Raman, and Dr. Katikaya. I hope I pronounced that correctly. They all talked about population as a conversation that many people and policymakers are shying away from, but instead of actually talking about it, they call it the elephant in the room. But they reiterated that if we do not tackle it now head on, it will come back to haunt us all. But they proffered a solution that aligns with one of ours at Population Matters: education. We agree educating the girl child should be the norm, globally, universally, and the way forward. But we go further at Population Matters. We believe in gender equality, body autonomy, and choice, access to contraceptives, comprehensive sexual education, global justice, all towards ending consumption, and practical excuses being made as to why this is a giant in the room. Sustainable education is not a or there. It's neither here or there, but it should be inclusive in the environmental conversation. And that is why this conference has made it particularly helpful taking our agenda forward. Now it's all our agenda. To deliver the fundamental shift that we need, there is the need for high quality of focus, of partnership, and a new thinking. There is the need for innovative approaches and greater long-term potential to tackle complexities. And ICSE, in our view, is about solutions and partnerships. So the call to action to also today, as we go, is that it will be good for us to be bold and each of us to become population champions from local to global, raising population consciousness, conversations to our sons, our daughters, and communities, and then the world at large, so that we have empowered all of ourselves to plan. So together, we want us to take the elephant out of the room. We did say nature is good for us all. So is this conversation. It's important that every choice should count, and it is important that we have an equally thriving population, and that includes educating the girl child. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now be requesting Ms. Bethany Davies from ACER Australia to please give the closing remarks. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
Thank you. It is an honour to be invited here today to give a closing statement at the 5th International Conference for Sustainability Education. I'm a new mother and my daughter just turned 1. And it's been the joy of my life watching her discover her new world. It really brings into sharp focus the conversations that we're having here, and it provides me the opportunity for me to imagine what her education might look like. For her, I imagine a learning experience that prioritises Indigenous knowledge perspectives, an education that promotes her agency as a co-designer of her learning rather than a passive consumer of content. I imagine for her an education system that trusts our teachers and our young people to have complex and nuanced conversations about the environmental emergency and the way it intersects with aspects such as gender, politics, economics and inequality. I imagine for her a learning experience that develops her essential learning skills, like her collaboration, her creativity, her critical thinking, and communication, but uses our landscapes, our environment, and the environmental emergency as a backdrop for that learning. I imagine that learning is assessed not by giving her an A or a D for environment, but it's where we use innovative measurements to determine where learners are at in their learning for the purpose of improving that teaching and learning. This is a space where I'm currently working at the Australian Council for Educational Research, for example on ODEX PISA and the agency in the Anthropocene framework. Finally, I imagine for her a learning experience that is meaningful, local and personally relevant. It's interdisciplinary and it's action-orientated. An experience where nature relation is a seamless thread that mirrors the mind-boggling diversity, interactivity and complex interactions of our natural world. It is difficult not to despair when we think about the urgency and the scale of our environmental emergency, but they say that the antidote to despair is action. From what I have heard here today and during this conference, I'm heartened by the wonderful action that I have learned about and that is surrounded by us all, particularly the brilliant work of our young people that was evidenced this morning in the Youth Conclave. It gives me hope for my daughter and it gives me hope for her future. Thank you for inviting me here today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, I will be now requesting Mr. Bhavesh Swami from the Climate Reality Project to please give the closing remarks. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
Thank you so much, ma'am. As a co-organizer, probably I'd like to thank all the speakers who made their presence felt out here, all the dignitaries who made up for the event, and Mobius team, can you just wave your hands out there? A special thanks to all the people, all the Mobius staff who made this event possible, wonderful, and it's like success of a conference is measured with the smiles that we have after the conference. In hush-hush voices, I heard, did you meet Dr. Bharuja out there? Did you exchange cards with Dr. Amit out there? I think that's what need of the hour is. If we are learning from north, east, south, west, from each other, I think the conference in itself becomes successful. If you haven't done that, please say hello to each other, exchange cards, invite these brilliant luminaries to your universities, to your campuses, and see how sustainability education can percolate. There was a lot of noise and voice around oceans. So in Indian mythology, there is a thing called Samundra Manthan. So there was a lot of churning that happened in those 2 days. Please take out the positivity from it, learn from each other, and let's take this journey forward. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving forward, I would now be requesting Ms. Gayatri Raghava from the Environment Education Expert UNEP India to give the closing remarks. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
Thank you. Well, I didn't know that I was going to be speaking at the plenary. Now that I know that and I have to say some things, I've been with Mobius Foundation since, I think, 2019 when the first conference started. I have seen it grow, evolve, and mature into this beautiful congregation of so many wonderful people doing all this environment education projects. I'm going to keep my message very short. Each one of your projects are beautiful and wonderful. But as my boss Sam always said, he says speed and scale is the need of the hour. We know, I think Atul Bagai sir told us that just about a week back, we came to know that 6 of our planetary boundaries, 9 planetary boundaries have been crossed, are in the red. The triple planetary crisis is on. Keeping all that in mind, I feel now the need of the hour for all of us as environment educators is not to work in silos, but just gather ourselves together, make into this huge effort. We don't have to do many things. We're already doing a lot of stuff, but we just need to put it all together. And really, I think we keep saying it's a key vehicle of change, right? Environment education, key vehicle for sustainability. Having said that, people need to see the vehicle. So I really think that we all need to get together and, show it that, India is a place where fabulous environment education project is happening. And there is so much to learn, and these 2 days are too less. And Dr. Rambhuj, one request to you. Next time, I'm not going to be doing a session because there were such wonderful sessions happening. So I was in my session sitting, but my heart was in another session where I wanted to be. So next time, a humble request from my side. And thank you very much for for UNEP to be a part of this wonderful conference. As always, we've enjoyed it and we've supported it, and we will continue supporting all your efforts. And thank you to Mobius Foundation, Mr. Burman, Dr. Rambhuj, and to all the the TAC committee, as we call it. We start taking acronyms everywhere. So we got this TAC committee, which I don't know many of you are aware of, which consists of all the organizations that have come together to put this conference up. So great. Many thanks to the TAC committee. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now be requesting the navigator of this flagship, the chairman of Mobius Foundation, Dr. Pradeep Burman, to give the closing remarks for this conference. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
Thank you all. I think my first duty is to thank you all for coming here and sharing all your experiences as well as interacting with us to have a partnership on educating for sustainability education. Now, what the theme of the whole thing is sustainability action, but I would say action comes first, and then after that sustainability, and that's what we are doing. We have a 100-school program, and we have, with the Climate Reality Project, over 700 teachers, where we have a Green School program. The Green School program takes action on climate change. It's not just greening the school. It is solar. They learn how to do the solar. They learn how to do the composting, which is a big, big issue in India because of the number of cows that we have. And we have other sustainability programs in the school itself. And we have in our Gyan Anant Vidyalaya, which you might have seen the cultural program yesterday, they have in their school what is called a butterfly garden. That is put up by Jane Goodall, and they do a lot of work for the environment, but you may not have heard about them, but they put up a butterfly garden to get the children to interact with nature. If you interact with nature, then you realize that you are dependent on nature for your life, and therefore you take action on sustainability for that action. That is what we're trying to do. Get action first, and then knowledge will come along with the action, because it's all that kind of learning that existential learning is what you call it. That's what we're trying to do in that Climate Foundation. Some of the other things that we are doing in the Mobius Foundation, perhaps you're here, but you don't know what Mobius Foundation is doing, so perhaps I'll just reiterate them. By the way, all of us, I think, are on the same plane. We're all looking at sustainability, yes. So, oceans is what we've learnt in this thing, that we have to give a great emphasis on ocean for teachers who will teach the things to the students, that we get our oxygen from the ocean. If we cannot have oxygen, we can't breathe and we'll die. So oceans, that is the way to energize the students. Look, we have to look after the ocean, otherwise we don't get oxygen and we'll die. So this is a very important thing which I learned at this conference. The other things that we are doing a 100-school program which is entirely for women in the rural areas. And that is where all the areas where we are working on is high TFR, what is called the total fertility rate. That is over 2.0, and over 100 districts we will do 100 schools, which will actually supply contraceptives to women who want to be empowered. And later on, we will also train them to be able to get jobs. So this is one big program of Mobius Foundation which we've just started. There's a project Akar which we are doing for delivering contraceptives in these rural areas. There is gobar gas energy, which is called compressed biogas, which is made from cow dung, and fertilizer comes out of that, but out of that also comes cooking gas, and that's energy, and everything is recycled, nothing is wasted. So that is something which we are going to do. We're going to start one now, and we will spread it all over India for at least, you know, the number of cows that are here. And we need to take care of the cow dung. So this will take care of the cow dung by providing energy. That will save on fossil fuels, and that is what we are trying to do. We will do 100 of them. We've also got the Green School program, which I think I already mentioned about that, which is actually teaching people about making compost and staying in touch with nature. I already said that it is not just education, it is action and education. And more important point is the action which we want to take. The theme which we have has to be action for education, not just education for sustainability. It's action for sustainability, that's required. That is what we are trying to do in the schools itself. What I was most impressed with during the themes which are going around was sustainable mafia. Now that sustainable mafia is really doing something to get people action. They have a program of taking 100 startups which will do things only which are green and which will be helped by IIT, which will be helped by people who have been trained abroad, and with other finance people also, to have startups which will actually do action on climate change and will maybe make a difference to what we are doing. Well, that's all I have. I think I want to thank you once again for coming here, and because of you coming here, we'll have a much better connection, and whatever you want to write to us, or you want to advise us on something, or you seek something, what you want done in India, we will be very grateful for that communication or just getting together on that count. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We're also very privileged to have with us a very special chief guest. We have with us Mr. Sanjay Awasthi, India Head Office from International Organization for Migration. So I now request you to please address us all. Can we have a great round of applause, please?
Mr. Burman, Dr. Booj, Mr. Garg, distinguished panelists, experts, participants, observers, and colleagues. A wonderful evening to you all. It's an honor and privilege for me to address you on behalf of the International Organization for Migration, the UN Migration Agency, and the UN country team in India at the 5th International Conference of Sustainability Education. At the outset, I wish to extend my deep appreciation to the organizers, which is the Mobius Foundation, and partners of this conference who have brought exceptional intellect and experience under one roof. I would also like to thank all the speakers, participants, and colleagues for making this conference a treasure chest of educational and inspiring ideas. The insights that have emerged in the past 2 days indicate that a new multi-dimensional understanding of sustainability is underway. Several aspects stood out in this regard, like the necessity to strengthen the climate resilience of at-risk populations through civil society coalitions, enhancing water security towards humanity's goal of a sustainable existence, mainstreaming gender into climate responsiveness, or empowering climate action through circular economy education. From the artwork on display to the performances and ideas shared by the school children and youth, we are all beckoned to recognize and develop the potential of today's children as they become leaders and decision makers of tomorrow through a climate integrated education system. And it was indeed heartening to hear from Mr. Berman about the initiatives that have been taken by the foundation so far and what all is in the pipeline. Their underlying principle is a people-centric approach with sustainable thinking as the key to holistic sustainable development. The mission Life, too, espouses this ideal, wherein challenges related to climate change need contributions from individuals, families, and communities. While representing the International Organization for Migration, I wish to urge that under Mission Life, the ambitious goal to mobilize at least 1 billion people to protect and preserve the environment must include the migrants too. And I'm saying that because I'm representing the International Organization for Migration. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development recognizes migration as a powerful driver of sustainable development for migrants and the communities in their places of origin and destination. And I was just now mentioning to Dr. Booj and Mr. Berman how important it is to situate the role of migrants and the linkages with climate change, the impact that climate change is having on migrants. So India has the most significant number of domestic and international migrants who traverse the country and the globe, navigating complex political, social, and economic processes of source and destination regions. So in the process of doing so, they bring new skills, strengthen the labor force, create opportunities for investment and cultural diversity, and contribute to improving the lives of communities in the regions of origin by transferring skills and financial resources or remittances, as well as the countries of destination. Today, India tops the list of countries with the highest international remittances to the tune of $100 billion. However, the environmental concerns which spur the discussions on sustainability also impact migration. The way around it is through sustainable migration pathways by balancing the interests of the different actors involved, particularly migrants and destination communities, to make the impact sustainable, considering with the same level of importance all the factors that characterize the current and future development of the countries of departure and arrival. As we co-develop and adopt newer, more improved strategies towards sustainability, I take this opportunity to highlight IOM's approach towards migration in the context of sustainable development. Guided by principles under the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, GCM, adopted in 2018, and India is also an important signatory member state, IOM applies a whole of government and whole of society approach to migration governance to optimize labor migration outcomes for migrant workers and the places of origin and destination. As early as 2008, IOM played a very crucial role in establishing one of the first migrant resource centers, or MRC, in Kerala for supporting the Indian migrant workers pursuing overseas employment and informing internal migrants on the risks of labor exploitation across various formal and informal sectors. Today, the private sector is the largest employer of migrants domestically and internationally, and its contribution is critical in ensuring the protection and human rights. Internationally, IOM is facilitating the migration and mobility of skilled Indian professionals through an evidence-based understanding of emerging labor markets, offering crucial information for them to make an informed decision, and assisting the member states, including India, in incorporating the welfare of migrants in the bilateral agreements. Like sustainable climate action, IOM has launched initiatives to strengthen the accountability of the private sector, employers for protecting and upholding migrant workers' rights as per the UN Guiding Principles for Business and Human Rights. And this morning I had the privilege of attending the Human Rights Commission's event, which was focused on business and human rights. So in these ways, migration contributes to climate change adaptation and risk mitigation by addressing the intersection of migration, environment, and climate change, by recognizing reaffirming the agency of people who want to move, who are on the move, and when they choose to stay where they are. As we conclude, I invite you all to view this moment as an opportunity for reflection, innovation, and collaboration to collectively think and strengthen migration management frameworks and reap the benefits of the SDGs and the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration. The challenges of the 21st century are complex and ever-changing. We must look at people-driven strategies like migration to create dynamic societies wherein migrants are enabled to become full members, drivers of development, agents of change, and custodians of the environment, whether they choose to stay, move, or return. Heartiest congratulations once again to the Foundation for hosting such a wonderful event, and thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you so much, sir. We cannot express our appreciation enough for you being with us and providing us your wisdom. I would be requesting our chairman, Mr. Pradeep Burman, to please present a memento to our special chief guest, Mr. Sanjay Awasthi. Can we have a great round of applause, please? Sir, you will give it to me. Can we once again have a great round of applause for Mr. Sanjay Awasthi, who graced us with his presence. That's it, sir. No, that's it. And with that, I will now be requesting the man with distinct vision, an idol of knowledge and inspiration to all of us, Dr. Ram Booj, CEO of Mobius Foundation, to give a vote of thanks. A great round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Nidhi. Thank you very much indeed. Our Honorable Chairman, Mr. Pradeep Burman, Chief Guest, Sanjay Awasthi, President Mobius Foundation, Mr. Garg, all distinguished dignitaries on the dais and beyond the dais. Really, it's very satisfying and fulfilling to see the culmination of this another milestone, the 5th International Conference on Sustainability Education. I think before I thank individually, I would just like all of you to give a big round of applause to our team, the Mobius team. And you won't realize how hard they have been working these days. Whatever you are seeing, there might be some minor problems here and there, but to me and to the delegates, to whomsoever I talked, they all said that it's perfect. Of course, there is nothing perfect in this world, but the words of appreciation which our distinguished guests and all of you, I think this credit all goes to our team. And the majority of our team members, they were new. The first time, because in the civil society sector, this is another problem, because there is people come, learn, and then migrate. So we consider this as capacity building, another form of education. And that's also, but this kind of event would have not been possible by the support of all these 36 partners, exactly 36. And all of you, many of you are here in this hall, and UN agencies, international agencies, national agencies, grassroots workers, industries, government, everybody was here. And most interesting part was the involvement of youth. And for the first time, we had over 200 projects. Mr. Burman was emphasizing about the action. I think many a times, a lot of educators question that we are doing our work, we are educating, we are doing our academic exercise. Let us do what we are taught or learnt or we are best at. Why we expect action from us? Because let us do this education in the best way possible. Education and action are two different things, but this conference was all about action. 200 plus projects, action projects in the field on one theme, that was climate action and sustainability. It was very difficult for the jury, you might have seen, to select the best out of that from both junior as well as the senior, the higher education category. So that is the beauty. The other was almost 100-member team from this Pushpa Gujaral Science City. Dr. Nilima Jerath was here. It's a joint venture of Government of India as well as Government of Punjab. And they also demonstrated action, and two of their projects got funding as well. So that is another milestone. Mr. Burman mentioned about the sustainability mafia. I was also present. When we started discussion 3 months back with them, I was not very sure the way they presented that we want to create 100 sustainability ventures and announce in your conference. I invited them. We had 3-4 rounds of discussions. And today's presentation, those of who were present there, you might have seen that happening. The problem, there were 3 groups: identifying the problems, identifying the resources, identifying the mentors. And next 4 months, they are pretty sure they had venture capitalists, they have the best mentors, they have the think tanks, incubators, and we are pretty sure that that will be the major action of this conference. Some 10 parallel sessions, plenaries. I think you all know how enriching, how thought-provoking each session was, and grateful to all of you to making it so enriching. And 18 parallel sessions, thematic sessions on so interesting topics like the carbon disclosure projects, some of the best in the world, the case studies that were presented, and there was global case examples, and heads of those projects, basically like global head of HCL, Lenskart, they were present in their sessions, and that was how private sector engagement could be ensured for climate action, and that too through education. Similarly, of course, Mr. Berman mentioned about the oceans. And oceans, I always say it's close to my heart, because for a very long period, and still I have been working with the ocean community, the World Ocean Network, Global Ocean Forums, IOI, and many others. And thanks to Dr. Vinita Apte to curate that session, that very important session, and bring together so many ocean lovers, experts, and I would say crusaders. Of course, CE, Center for Environment Education, together with its partners, IUCN, Foundation for Environment Education, and many others, they launched in association with Mobis Foundation. That's another milestone, South and Central Asia Network on Environment Education, which is, of course, very, very vibrant network. Lot of people attended this conference virtually as well as physically. Registered participants were more than 600. There were many who, if you include the youth, 200 plus. So you can easily say that this conference was 1,000 plus physical and many thousands virtual. That is another beauty. So there is another very interesting session where IITs, particularly IIT Guwahati, Professor Vimal Katiyar and his team, and Central Institute of Technology, Kokrajhar, closing the loop, empowering climate action through circular economy. That was very interesting. And women writers and sustainability, another topic which was basically a lot of people talk about gender. So that was so interesting. Life, Terry, we are really grateful. Whatever facilities that was, in fact, through Terry, where means this venue, their support was tremendous. And they did a session on the moving towards sustainable development through mission life, lifestyle for environment, because they have been They got the national award as the best organization for action on life, like Modi's pet, our Prime Minister's pet program. There were plenty of, I cannot name all. The other very interesting aspect that many of you might have not noticed, the posters and contributed papers. 87, I think. There were some got printed in souvenir volume, and there were a few who could not because they were submitted at the last moment. That is the beauty, because there are 6-7 IITs, the best institutions in India, National Institute of Technology, many universities from India, from South Asia, and from other parts of the world as well. So it was very difficult for us to accommodate each and everyone. A lot of them got accommodated in the poster session. And of course, our jury members, they had a tough task to evaluating those 80 odd posters and papers. We had 3 sessions, and this shows the participation and enthusiasm of the larger academic community. Particularly, most of these papers are hard, evidence-based research papers, and there have been requests to publish it in peer-reviewed journals or bring out a publication. We will do that, because I think this kind of wealth, a huge academic resource, this could become in 2 days. The kind of multi-dimensional and diverse knowledge systems that we have been able to gather together, collect, and I think we will try to synthesize it in a report, some very good international publication through proper reviewing process. So that is another, I think, good thing. I cannot name everyone here in the hall, but each one of you, thank you so much on behalf of Mobius Foundation, on behalf of all the partners, and take away whatever you learnt here. I think you all are the messengers or ambassadors of climate action and sustainability, but never forget that we as educators, as a community of educators, our primary objective and aim is to educate, to build the knowledge systems, to advance it, and action is one kind of education. Whatever is demonstrated, you do something in the field, that is the best education. Because demonstrating, showing something practical, no education, no action education could be better than that. So I think with that message, thank you each one of you. Thank you once again to our distinguished dignitaries, guests, and everyone. Thank you so much.
And with that, we successfully conclude even our closing ceremony. I am extremely pleased to announce that the efforts and contribution of each of us here has borne us fruit. And thank you all for coming together and adding more grace to this occasion and making 5th International Conference on Sustainable Education a successful one.
And give a big hand to our host, Ms. Nidhi Tripathi.
Thank you so much.
And of course, I don't know where is Bishal Dilara.
She's not here.
And also to the event management agency Elpcot. They have a team here. I think they deserve big hand from all of you. From all of us. Our volunteers I forgot to mention, we have some 20 volunteers from one of the best women colleges in Delhi, Jesus and Mary, and another 20 from Miranda House. And we got today some 10 again volunteers from Delhi University, because they requested that we would like to help you in several of these activities. They were everywhere, giving you mementos, organizing each and everything. And media, our media manager, Ms. Nidhi Singh, she perfectly managed some of the things. I think they all deserve a big applause. Now it prompts me to take a few more names. The core ICSE team within the Mobius, Shravan, Paridhi Jain, Dr. Bhagyashri, somebody was asking me yesterday, where is Bhagya? So somebody said Bhag gaya. So she is here only. And entire think tank team, our HR head. We have another very new entrant and very experienced person from the Indian Forest Service, Mr. Aditya Joshi, who has just taken over. I think he also deserves, because so patiently he guided many of very silently he was providing the support without any fuss, but definitely big hand. Ms. Poonam Parihar, she is another our the sister organization, Sandesh, Dabar's the CSR wing. Sandesh, she was throughout with her team, and you must have seen her instructing people to do things. Our accounts team, many of you who wanted Mr. Rayajada, Mr. Actually, I can't take all the names, so sorry. Yes, so yes, they just see. They have given me a list, but the list is too big. But I can't read. But from on behalf of all of you, just give them a big hand. Just say. So I think even if I because my memory is not very sharp, lot of things these 2 days happened. So this long list I cannot read. And my apologies if I have forgotten anybody, but you all our distinguished guests, partners on the dais, thank you so much for all your support. And I think this is not the end conclusion, but this is the beginning. Let us go with this thought. Thank you so much.
Well, with that, like Sir said, I hope this association of ours only strengthens in times to come. I would like to request our panelists on stage for the group photo. Also, I would request all the Mobius team to please come near the stage also for a group photo.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure, sir.
I'd like to mention Dr. Booj, who organized the entire conference. I'd like to appreciate his efforts. He's done a good job. You have to announce now that 7 o'clock is dinner.
Yes, yes, yes,
Drop this at dinner.
Sir, should we do the national anthem?
Sorry?
Do you want to? Okay. Also, I would now be requesting you to all join us for a lovely dinner, which would be right outside. Cocktail. Okay, it's a cocktail. Starts at 7. So a little different than what we had yesterday. I hope you all of you join us there. And to the Mobius team, please I request you all to come near the stage for the group photo. Thank you once again for a lovely audience that we've had. Thank you so much.
Then